Growing up in a tiny community in deep South Mississippi was like living in a bubble. Everyone knew everyone, and life was pretty simple. After finishing school, I started working at a convenience store on the outskirts of town, just trying to make ends meet. One regular customer, Chris, would come in every afternoon like clockwork to buy his Black and Mild and a couple of 40s. We never really knew each other, but we'd exchange pleasantries. My boss, Lee, always had a bad feeling about him, but I shrugged it off as him being shy. One day, Chris asked me if I wanted to hang out after work, and I agreed. It wasn't like there was much else to do around there, but as the evening approached and my sister came to pick me up, I suddenly felt a sickening feeling in my gut. I decided to go home with her instead of Chris, and it turned out to be the best decision I ever made. The next morning, some kids found a half-nude lady who had been brutally mutilated near the school gate. It sent shockwaves through the town, and everyone was on edge. When I went into work, Lee came in later and said, "I told you there was something wrong with that boy, Chris." It turned out Chris was responsible for the horrific crime. He had picked up a lady with car trouble after I left the store that night and did unspeakable things to her. He ended up in the ER with a knife wound, threatening the doctor who treated him. The police connected the dots, and Chris was arrested. That night, I realized that gut feeling I had saved me from a nightmare. I felt guilty over the years, knowing it could have been me in that car. But it serves as a reminder to always trust your instincts and stay safe. You never know what someone is capable of.
My name is Ralph Davis, and let me tell you about one summer that I'll never forget. It was back in 2015, the beginning of summer, and my brother Wes and I had just arrived at my Uncle Matt's place in Mayersville, a stone's throw from the Mississippi River. Uncle Matt greeted us with his trademark bear hugs, and after settling in, we cracked open a few drinks to celebrate Wes turning 21 the month before. The next day, with Aunt Melissa away on business, we decided to go camping. As we drove, Uncle Matt warned us about gators and bull sharks in the river. But then he dropped a bombshell. He claimed to have seen a 7-foot-tall lake monster there when he was our age, something straight out of a horror movie. Wes scoffed at the idea, but I was intrigued. If Uncle Matt, a tough guy if there ever was one, was rattled by something, it had to be serious. When we reached the campsite, we set up our tents, unloaded our gear, and Uncle Matt even brought his AR-15 rifle just in case. Everything seemed normal until dusk, when we heard splashing near the shore. "What was that?" I asked, my heart pounding. "Just a catfish, probably," Wes replied nonchalantly. But the splashing continued, and Uncle Matt mentioned the possibility of a gator lurking nearby. We brushed it off and continued cooking our dinner. As we ate, I decided to take a dip to cool off. Big mistake. Something grabbed my leg underwater, something that definitely wasn't a fish. I kicked and screamed until I broke free, emerging with cuts on my calf. "What happened?" Uncle Matt asked, concern etched on his face as he tended to my wound. I recounted what I saw, a humanoid creature with spikes on its back lurking beneath the surface. Wes, finally convinced, suggested we keep watch in case it returned. Later that night, as I stood guard with Uncle Matt's rifle, I heard a hissing noise from the bushes where Wes had gone to pee. I investigated flashlight and gun in hand and came face to face with the creature. Without hesitation, I emptied the magazine, sending the creature fleeing back into the river. We wasted no time packing up and fleeing to safety, leaving behind our destroyed coolers and a trail of blue blood for the authorities to find. Since then, we've never spoken of the river creature again. So if you ever find yourself camping by the Mississippi River, heed my advice. Bring protection and stay vigilant. You never know what might be lurking just beneath the surface.
Back in 2002, me and a buddy are out in the Homochitto National Forest in southwest Mississippi looking for Native American artifacts. It's a sunny afternoon, and we're cruising down some gravel roads, then onto a smaller logging road, about a mile from where we parked. We hiked down this smaller trail for about another mile and a half when suddenly things got weird. We reached this little hump in the trail, and it's like the whole dang forest came alive. Trees were shaking, half the creatures were howling like apes, and the other half were growling like something out of a nightmare. I turn around thinking something's sneaking up on us, and bam, my buddy collapses at my feet, begging to see his wife again, praying not to get eaten. I yank him up, tell him to stand back to back, and we're clutching our screwdrivers and walking sticks, ready for anything. The racket goes on for what feels like an eternity, then just stops. Dead silent, except for some distant dog barking. We wait, frozen, for another half hour, not hearing a peep. Decide we gotta make a run for the car. We start hoofing it back when my buddy freezes again. I slam into him and he points at the ground. I look down and see this massive footprint, 22 inches long. Next thing I know, my buddy's gone, vanished into thin air. I'm still half a mile from the car, so I sprint like my life depends on it. Finally get there, he's already revving the engine, door flung open. I dive in and we peel out, tires screeching. We stop to catch our breath and I ask him what he saw. All he says is this thing was 9 to 10 feet tall, covered in reddish-orange fur, with shoulders like a linebacker. He reckons there could have been more, judging by the chaos in the trees. That day changed me. I used to be a woodsman, but now even getting near that forest gives me the shakes. My buddy's gone now, but I'll never forget what we saw, and I'll swear on it till my dying breath.
I hope you found these stories as chilling and unsettling as I did. It's a stark reminder that sometimes reality can be stranger and more frightening than fiction. If you enjoyed these tales of suspense, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling content. This is your host, Nicholas Black. Until next time.